Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving headfirst into a world of spin, toss, and, well, flow. We're going way beyond the circus tent to explore the skills, the gear, and the amazing communities that make up the art of object manipulation. So let's get right into it. First things first. When you hear the word juggling, what pops into your head? Probably a clown, right? Maybe some bright red balls? Hold that thought. We're about to blow that picture wide open because that stereotype, it's just the tiny, tiny tip of a massive, super creative iceberg. Beyond the performance, beyond just learning tricks, this is a world that's really built around personal growth. People who do this talk about finding this incredible state of presence, a way to totally connect your mind and your body. It's way less about competing and so much more about exploring, collaborating, and just finding your own personal rhythm. So our first stop is all about getting past that old stereotype. We're going to look at the feeling that people are really chasing here, a concept that is absolutely central to this entire world. And this is it, the flow state. You've probably felt this before, right? It's that feeling of being completely in the zone, where everything just clicks, your actions feel almost effortless, and you're just totally in the moment. Psychologists talk about this all the time. It's connected to mindfulness, to peak performance. A lot of people call it a kind of moving meditation. And honestly, it's the glue that holds all these different art forms together. Now, to really understand this world, it helps to know about the two major and often overlapping philosophies. They're really deeply connected, but they kind of started with slightly different goals in mind. Let's break down that classic distinction. So what we're looking at here is a fundamental difference in approach. Over on the left, you've got traditional juggling. Here, the big emphasis is on technical skill, that amazing satisfaction you get from mastering a really difficult, complex pattern. Then on the right, you have flow arts. That's more about the journey. It's about the feeling of creative expression and that connection you feel as you move with your prop. So one's about nailing the trick and the other's about finding the feeling. But here's the thing, and this is the most important part. Today, these lines are almost completely blurred. Jugglers are bringing in dance and flow artists are pushing insane technical boundaries. Think about a contact juggler who uses dance to make a crystal ball look like it's floating across their body. It's a story, not just a trick. And this beautiful crossover is what keeps the whole scene so dynamic and exciting. So let's start with the traditional side of things. We're going to look at the foundational props that have been the bedrock of juggling for, well, generations. This is where most people begin their journey into defying gravity. Yep, these are the undisputed classics. If you walk into pretty much any juggling club in the world, you are going to see these three props in action. Each one teaches you a different fundamental skill, and they've all got a really rich history. Balls are where it all begins. They're the quintessential starting point. Because their shape is so simple, you can focus purely on the core stuff, the timing of your throws, keeping the pattern consistent, and just developing that essential rhythm. The basic three-ball cascade, that's the gateway for almost every single juggler. Now, what's really fascinating is how the type of ball you choose can totally change what you're doing. You'll probably start with beanbags because they're super forgiving, they don't roll away when you drop them. But then you might discover something like Russian balls. They're partially filled with sand, which gives them this unique dead drop quality. They land and just stop, making them perfect for really complex body catches and stalls. The gear itself just opens up new doors. Okay, on to clubs. This is where we add a whole new layer of difficulty. See, now you're not just controlling the arc of the toss, you have to control the spin. Nailing a single, a double, or even a triple rotation before you catch it, that's a whole new dimension of skill. And finally, we have rings. The magic of rings is all about the visual punch. They fly in this really stable, predictable way, and because they're so thin, you can hold a whole bunch of them at once. This makes them the absolute go-to prop for numbers juggling. That's tossing 5, 7, or even more objects all at the same time. All right, we've covered the classic juggling toolkit. Now let's totally shift gears and explore the props that are much more connected to that feeling of dance, of expression, and of finding that awesome meditative flow state. This is poi. It's probably the most recognizable flow prop out there. It actually comes from the Maori people of New Zealand, where it was used to train strength and coordination. Today, it's all about creating these beautiful, mesmerizing geometric patterns all around your body. And just like juggling balls, poi isn't just one thing. There's a huge family of them. You can start safe with soft practice poi, Then move to contact poi, which are weighted to roll smoothly across your arms and body like they're defying gravity. You can light up the night with incredible programmable LEDs, or, for the really skilled, you can perform with fire. And each one of these styles has its own dedicated community. The modern hula hoop is a universe away from the toy you might remember from the playground. Hooping today is this beautiful mix of on-body spinning and really complex off-body manipulation. It brings together dance, exercise, and just incredible dexterity. Staff spinning, which gets a lot of its inspiration from martial arts, is so versatile. One really popular style is called contact staff, where the goal is to keep the staff rolling continuously over your body, almost like it's a part of you without ever really gripping it. Another is double staffs, where you use a shorter staff in each hand to weave these really intricate patterns. Okay, so we've seen the props, we've talked about the philosophies. Maybe you're feeling a little spark of curiosity right now. Well, the great news is that getting started is way more accessible than you might think. Let's break it down. First, just ask yourself this simple question. Are you more drawn to the challenge of mastering a really precise, difficult pattern, or are you more inspired by the idea of moving freely, of dancing with an object like it's an extension of your own body? Your answer is a huge clue for where you should start. And the path to getting started is pretty straightforward. First, just go with what interests you, like we just talked about. Second, think practically. Juggling balls are cheap, and you can practice anywhere. A staff, well, it needs a bit more room. But beginner gear for almost any prop is really affordable. And third, and this is so key, find your people. There are local clubs, spin jams, and thousands of free tutorials online to guide you. And this quote really gets to the heart of everything. No matter what prop you pick up, you're tapping into these really universal human experiences, the pure joy of learning something new, the freedom to just express yourself, and the power of a welcoming community. So you see, it's about so much more than just the object itself. We've explored the tools, the techniques, and the philosophies. We've seen how this world is this incredible spectrum of technical skill and creative expression. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. What will you learn to flow with? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.